Faces. They're pretty difficult to draw. I mean, if they weren't, you probably wouldn't have even clicked on this video. But don't worry, I got you, because by the end, you're gonna be a natural at drawing them. Oh, and by the way, do you know what else is difficult to draw? Heads. And I have a video on how to draw heads, which, if you haven't watched yet, what are you even doing here? How do you expect to draw faces without knowing how to draw heads? I mean, you probably could, but come on, I'm just trying to advertise some of my content here. Leave me alone. Anyways, let's get into it. Now, here we've got some pretty basic looking heads, and we're gonna draw some faces onto them. Now, the reason why you guys are probably struggling to draw faces is because you're thinking of the face as a sticker that you stick onto the head. Oh, and by the way, I explain how to draw these head shapes in my how to draw heads video, so really if you haven't watched that, you should probably go check it out. Link in the description as well as the art card above. You could also check out David Finch's video. He does a much better job than I could explaining how to draw the head, and he goes much more in depth than I ever could. So yeah, highly recommend this video. But yeah, it's at this point that I want you guys to go onto Pinterest and search a reference for the planes of the face. The way that you're gonna master how to draw faces is by understanding the planes of the face. And the reference that I'm using is this one. Now we're gonna start off with the front view of our character. I usually like to start off with the nose. So just like I explained in my video on how to draw heads, this is the nose line. This is where the base of our nose is gonna be, not the tip. The tip is gonna be slightly above that. So we can draw in the base of the nose, and we can draw in the tip. Then after that, I like to add a brow ridge, which is a small protrusion outwards from the face that looks kind of like this. And then I like to carve out a small indentation for the eyes. If you're having trouble figuring out where to place the eyes, here's a tip. Take this distance from the brow ridge all the way to the nose line, split it down the middle, which would be around here. And on this line is where the bottom eyelid of your character is going to go. Now you want to grab your reference and try to draw in the sides of the nose. Now if you don't like drawing these, you can erase them later, but right now they're important. So you can draw them in very, very lightly. What this is going to do, it's going to tell us where the inside corners of our eyes start. Because if you don't already know, the inside corners of your eyes are going to line up to the outside corners of your nostrils. So we could say that our eyes will look something like that. Now at around the middle point of this part, from the nose line to the chin, this is where I like to add the bottom lip, and then slightly above that is where I like to add the actual mouth. Yeah, so apparently my phone camera gave out because my phone started overheating, and I thought I was recording everything, but I wasn't. So we're back to where I was. I literally had to redraw this entire character again, which was not that hard to be honest, but it was just kind of annoying. That's pretty much why my character might look a little bit different between jump cuts. But as I was saying, if you want your character to look a little bit skinnier, you could add cheekbones right below where the eyes are. And you constantly want to be looking at your reference of the planes of the face just to make sure that you don't actually put these in the wrong place. Now, at around the peak of the brow ridge and more or less where the outside corner of your eye is, that's where you're gonna notice a change in the plane of the face in the forehead area. And that's gonna be important because it's gonna help us sort out our hairline. And actually, before we do that, we can add the ears if we want. Now, for the hairline, you could just draw it like right where we drew the guideline for the hairline, but I like to go a little bit below that, because otherwise your character is probably gonna look like they're balding. And you could really do whatever kind of hairline you want. For now, I'll just go with something like this. And you don't want to leave your character's head completely round because it's probably gonna look a little weird. It's gonna look way better if you make your character's head a little bit blockier. So something like that. Now we can go ahead and soft erase this just to get rid of our guidelines, and we could redraw the finished face. And there you go, you pretty much have a finished face. Now, another reason why knowing the planes of the face is important is when it comes to your shading. So if you're struggling with shading the face properly, it's probably because you don't know the planes of the face. So, using my reference, I'm gonna shade this face. And there you go. So you can see how having a decent understanding of the planes of the face can go a long way into helping you actually draw a face. Now we're gonna take this same character and draw him from the side view. Now, let me ask you guys something. Have you ever drawn a character and then you try to draw that character again, maybe from a different angle, and then you realize that you can't actually draw that character again? Yeah, that's probably because at the time you did not have a good enough understanding of the planes of the face. Obviously, that's not the end all be all because you need to understand your own character design, but other than that, knowing the planes of the face goes a long way. So let's start. When we drew this part, the eyebrows, we mentioned that this line is the line that represents the brow ridge. So that means there's going to be a small protrusion from the face, and then from the brows we transition onto the nose. So I like to draw a triangle, and don't forget the nose line is where the base of the nose is going to be, not the tip. So we're going to start from this line, drawing the base all the way to the tip. And I don't really like to draw my noses this pointy, so we're going to flatten out the tip. Now to draw the mouth, I said that we're going to take the distance from the nose line to the chin, split it in half, and that's pretty much where our bottom lip is going to be. So the mouth is actually going to be slightly above that. And that pretty much tracks. We're going to take this distance from the brow ridge all the way to the nose line, split it in half, and that's where our bottom eyelid is going to be. And I actually think I may have gotten a little bit carried away with the brow ridge, so just going to bring that back in a little bit more. And the mouth looks like he's frowning, so I'm just going to change that up. It still looks like he's frowning, but less so. We can add our brow ridge, then add our cavity for the eyes, add our cheekbone, and draw the sides of the nose to get the inside corner of the eye. And that's pretty much where our character's eye is going to be. And you can pretty much go ahead and finish off the details of your character. And that's pretty much the basics of what you need to know to be able to draw faces. And you can really see just how a very basic understanding of the planes of the face can go a long way into shaping a character. Not only will you be able to draw characters better, but you can draw your characters consistently. You won't be struggling to draw the same character over and over again. But to be able to do everything that I explained in this video, you should probably know how to draw heads. And if you don't know how to draw heads yet, you should watch this video.